Subscribe to Be Kind Always for more powerful, true to art stories that open minds and touch souls. And don't forget to drop a comment. What would you have done if you witnessed this? Let's talk about it below. You think silence makes you invisible, sneered Madison, flicking a pair of scissors between her fingers like a toy. The hallway fell silent. It wasn't the regular between classes kind of quiet. It was heavier, more dangerous, like the silence before a thunderstorm. Ella Winters stood frozen, her back pressed against the cool, gray lockers. Her long, chestnut-brown hair draped like a curtain over her shoulders, shielding her like armor. She never caused trouble. She never looked for friends or foes. She just existed, like background noise no one paid attention to until today. She blinked slowly, swallowing down the panic crawling up her throat. "Come on, Maddie, don't," one of the girls in the group mumbled, uncertain. But Madison was the kind of girl who fed on attention and fear, and today, Ella was her chosen victim. In one swift, shocking moment, the scissors met Ella's hair. Snip! A thick strand fell to the floor like a dying leaf. A gasp echoed across the corridor. Some students turned away. Some watched, frozen. No one moved. Not even the teacher just down the hall. Snip! Another piece. Laughter bubbled from Madison, manic and cold. "There. Much better. Maybe now you'll say something. Or cry. Or do anything." Ella didn't cry. She didn't scream. She didn't speak. She simply bent down, picked up the shorn strands, and walked away in silence. That night, social media caught fire. Someone had recorded the entire thing. No filter. No edits. Just raw footage of cruelty. The clip was only 42 seconds long, but it spread like wildfire. By morning, it had millions of views. Hashtag Justice for Ella. Hashtag Be Kind. Hashtag Haircut Horror. Hashtags flooded every platform. Influencers reposted. Celebrities commented. The school's phone rang off the hook with reporters, concerned parents, and angry alumni. But Ella didn't open her phone. She sat in her room, her mother gently brushing what remained of her hair. "You don't have to go back," her mom whispered, holding back tears. "Not yet." But Ella looked into the mirror with quiet resolve. "I do." The next day, the entire school buzzed with tension. Madison and her friends walked in expecting praise, or at least defiant attention. Instead, they were met with pointed glares, cold shoulders, and awkward silences. Someone had plastered the hallway walls with printouts of the clip. Over and over. "Is this who we are?" a note on each one read. Teachers watched them closely. Students whispered behind hands. Even the cheer squad, the very group Madison led, voted to suspend her leadership. But the worst blow came when they saw Ella. She walked in wearing her school uniform with her head held high. Her uneven hair was now cut short and styled a choppy bob that somehow made her eyes shine even brighter. A quiet strength radiated from her as she walked, not avoiding stares, but meeting them. With her was Ms. Alvarez, the school counselor, and a man in a navy blazer holding a camera. She agreed to share her story, Ms. Alvarez said later in assembly. On one condition, that we all learn from it. Ella's story aired that evening. Not just the haircut, but the bullying. The years of being invisible. The whispers in class. The giggles when she raised her hand. The cruel notes. The way no one ever sat with her at lunch. And the heartbreaking truth that she'd cut her own sleeves longer not for fashion, but to hide the scars from when the pain had become too heavy. The room went still. A sob broke the silence. Even Madison, watching from her home, suspended, humiliated, couldn't look away. She hadn't known. Or maybe she had, and just hadn't cared. Now she did. The next day, Ella walked out to the school courtyard where the student body had gathered. They clapped, not the kind of forced, pitiful claps, but a standing ovation of respect. Madison stepped out from the crowd, her eyes puffy from a sleepless night. She held a small box. Inside it was a letter and a pair of scissors. "I'm sorry," she said, voice trembling. "You didn't deserve that. None of it. I wanted to feel powerful. But all I did was show how weak I was." Ella looked at her. For a moment, the world seemed to pause. And then she said, softly but clearly, "I forgive you. But I won't forget." Madison nodded, tears slipping down her face. "I'll earn it. Somehow. I promise." A week later, Ella's video hit 30 million views. Not because it was sensational, but because it was real. She started a campaign Silence Isn't Weak to raise awareness about emotional bullying and mental health in schools. Students from around the country wrote letters, shared their own stories, and came forward for the first time. Ella wasn't quiet anymore. She was strong. She was heard. And the very voice they tried to silence became a beacon of change. Message to our viewers. If you've ever felt invisible, unwanted, or hurt, know this: your voice matters. Your pain is real. And you are not alone. And if you've ever stood by and watched cruelty happen, or even caused it yourself, it's never too late to change. Never too late to be better.